Alright guys, welcome to this community cast. This one was submitted to me by King Louis Vuitton, and he was quite proud of his Cav micro in this game, so I'm guessing that's what we're going to see. I've not watched this replay yet, so I don't know who's going to win, but we will find out. There's the Vampire Coast being played by someone with no name. There's Red who is playing the Empire, and then there's Time Lord playing the Carcassonne Bretonians, and the other Bretonians are being played by Knight Smock and Justice. So, three Bretonians versus a bizarre alliance of Empire, Dark Elf, and the Vampire Coast. In terms of Lord choices, we have Karl Franz, supported by a Jade Wizard and a Warrior Priest, and on the Vampire Coast, we have Luther Harkon up in the air on his Terrorgeist. That thing regens like crazy. And I think if you are not afraid to get him into the melee combat, he can definitely do work for you. Up in the air, we have Marathi, supported by two Pharaoh Manticores, who will be serving as her bodyguard and giving her a little extra punch if she wants to dive in anywhere on the field. On the Bretonian side, we have Alberic. We have the Fey Enchantress. And I'm gonna guess that we have more Alberic. Yeah, because that's his faction. So no Luankur. Alberic is the man. People are loving him. And then there's, of course, some life wizards who are going to be trying to keep Alberic and the Fey Enchantress alive. And interestingly, yeah, Alberic's on his horse. Okay. So we're going to see a huge cav battle here between Bretonians and maybe some Dark Elves. We'll see. Okay, so initial shots. We've got Queen Bess, who looks like she'll be unobstructed in her ability to shoot. Let's see where those first shots are going in. So Queen Bess is vulnerable to counterplay from artillery, but the Bretonians are not known as an artillery-centric faction. They oh wow, look at that. First shot connects, almost erases a Men of Arms unit with the one shot. A Men of Arms is about 250 gold. These ones does not look like they have shields, so it's not a super high value target. If it does connect, Queen Bess takes a step towards paying for herself, but still, I think maybe you'd want to start focusing down the peasant bowmen or the knights or anything else. The knights are a bit tricky because they can just dodge the shots really easily, but yeah, not battle pilgrims would have been a good target too. So not a lot of great choices here. It does look like the carronade is starting to shoot in on these knights errant. There are also some Knights of the Realm which cost a little bit more, so I would probably be focusing down the Knights of the Realm or the Pegasus Knights or Alberic if I had that opportunity. Queen Bess continues to shoot into the peasants. This time it's relocated onto the peasant archers. Over here, Luther Harkon is going to start chipping away at the Knights of the Realm and such. Again, so here you have the option of shooting Grail Knights, so why not shoot Grail Knights? They cost much more. Over here we have Questing Knights, more Grail Knights, Knights of the Realm. So just a huge barrage of Knights, but whenever you have a lot of Knights, I think you always have to try and put spears in front of them. And then you can use the Knights to kill everything that isn't large, and then it sets you up for some hammer and anvil action. Basically, if you can lock stuff up with spears, then you can swing around behind with your knights, and you can get in those juicy rear charges. But if you don't have a screen of infantry, and it's very hard to find an opening or a situation where you can get that full charge in. It's interesting that we are seeing that sort of spear formation too from the knights. It's something that I think is a little bit overrated, unless perhaps the unit is fairly depleted. So we'll see if they end up having an effect here or not. But yeah, so I believe Nightsmock is playing the true Bretonians over here, and it looks like he's going to get caught up by the Knights Errant and the Royal Altars. Over here, the shooting lines, it looks like they continue to be okay. Shade Wraith Gunners have unloaded on the Peasant Archers. I would probably be trying to turn them around on the Pegasus Knights and so on, but I know there's a lot being microed over here. You're seeing that King Louis Vuitton, also known as Litimus, is starting to harass some of the archers and screen out a lot of the cavalry with his cavalry of his own. He does have Coldwood Knights, Witch Elves, Dark Riders, so plenty of things that can cause problems. But you notice, like, in terms of mobility, it's really on Lewin to protect his back line, and this is what he's trying to do against all of the knights, just prevent them from getting into any of the openings. And he's using Dark Riders to screen out well, actually, I think those are on his team, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, Knights Errant are being chased by Dark Riders and Coldwood Knights and Marathi. Marathi, does she have access to Malkos? She does not have Malkos, Mystifying Miasma, so if she's going to catch anything, it's going to have to be the old-fashioned way. So Albrecht over here, he gets caught up by the Warrior Priest and Demigryph Knights with halberds. They are being fully buffed right now. On the other hand, this archer fire from Peasant Bowman is absolutely chipping them down super painfully for the Empire. So Red Side taking a beating, but he does have his damage resistance buffs popped, and maybe he will be able to heal through a lot of that damage. In the back line, you're seeing that King Lewin is continuing to hound these knights and just preventing them from getting into the artillery. So the artillery is online, but it looks like a unit of spears has been able to sneak through, and those will be countered by Sigmar's finest, the swordsman. So yeah. On the other hand, the archers have moved into range of a lot of the more important things. They will continue to shoot at the demis. The shade race, they get erased by the presence of the royal Pegasus. And Albrecht over here has healed up. He's reached his healing cap, but he's still doing well. Where is the Fey Enchantress at? I have not seen her lately. It looks like Luther Harkon has been pinned by these Knights of the Lionhearted with their, I believe they have, do they have flame damage? No, they have magic damage. I don't think they have flame. So some fire damage here would have been really nice against Luther Harkon to counteract some of his regen. Oh, there's the Fey. Oh no, that's Albrecht. I don't know. I've lost track of the Fey. There she is, being all coy in here. So I think if you have the Fey, don't be afraid to put her in combat a little bit, as long as you can support her with a bodyguard. She does have a Mortis Engine effect, and that can be very helpful. And you will see it proccing, I think, from time to time here, but yeah. And look at these archers, just absolutely drilling these Demigryph Knights. So Red Side is taking a lot of damage here. I think the Bordelot, I think this is Justice who's playing the Bordelot. And that wouldn't surprise me, because he often tends to like these flying goon squads. Albrecht plus the Royal Pegasus Knights is a very potent combination, and if you slip up and overextend, he can definitely make you pay with that. On the far side, Damsel of Life is about to get charged by a unit of Dark Riders, Coldwood Knights, and potentially Marathi. Again, if you can take out that Lure of Life caster, it makes it so much easier to deal with Albrecht if you cannot heal that damage. And some really nice stuff here from King Lewin, just pinning down these Knights of the Lionhearted and then erasing the spellcaster. Once you get the spellcaster off the field, then it's much, like I said, much easier to take out Albrecht. Over here, Queen Bess, it looks like it's still in good shape. I don't know if the cannon crew has been obliterated. Perhaps they were pulled off of the cannon for a moment there. I'm not really sure. We have 2 units of deck gunners, which are going to be chipping down at the Grail Relique, which has been buffing the leadership of this troops, but it won't be there for long. Some Knights Errant have been pinned here with some spears, and they are wavering and are almost certainly going to break off. More importantly, on the far side, we have Karl Franz at full health, fighting with his warrior priest friend, Paladin, and Lure of Life caster against the Paladin, Knights of the Realm. It looks like Albrecht has been potentially eliminated, unless he's flying around somewhere here. I'm not seeing him, but yeah, Red Side is definitely anchoring this sort of front line against Justice with the combined might of the Demigryphs, Karl Franz buffing them, and the Warrior Priest giving them the damage resistance. A lot of the Peasant Bowmen have started to flee and break off. There are 2 other units here that are very high health, but a little bit of regrouping I think is necessary at this point. Oh, there is one sneaky field trebuchet, which I didn't notice earlier. I'm not sure what it's shooting at the moment, but It looks like a lot of the important stuff has been chipped down. So Damsel of Life has been charged by the Dark Riders. It was wavering and almost broke off there, but the presence of the valiant men at arms were able to secure them and keep them in the fight. Some Grail Knights here, looks like they've been caught up on some Witch Elves. They are rampaging in some spears, certainly not where they want to be, so good job to Lewin there for noticing that and pitting them. It looks like Morathi, Fire Wizard, and the Cold One Knights are just taking a coffee break, but I'm sure they will be back in the action soon. Over here, the deck gunners are still healthy with a decent amount of ammo, and they have the support of a Gunnery White. It was obstructed, but can presumably buff their ammo and their damage resist. Here, a unit of Questing Knights is about to get rear charged by the Cold One Knights. And again, you're just seeing the value that these Witch Elves can provide in a game where there's a lot of units to micro. It's not so hard to make a mistake and get caught out by some Witch Elves. And once they have you rampaging, it can be a death sentence for cavalry, especially expensive cavalry. Over here, the Paladin is getting buffed by Favor of the Fae, and Foe Seeker just trying to hold out as long as he can against Karl Franz in the Demigryph Warrior Priest combo, but that's going to be really, really tough for him, and it looks like he's going to get chipped down. Karl Franz has gone on to do the business, whereas he's left his rear guard to try and finish off his Paladin. Karl Franz is still very, very healthy, so I don't think we've seen like the duel that I was hoping for yet, where Karl Franz versus Albrecht. You got two great melee combatants. That would be a joy to watch. But these archers have regrouped on the back side of the hill. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 units. One of them, it looks like it's been caught up a little bit, and some swords and probably break off. But they are shooting up and over the hill and chipping away at some great swords, and perhaps Karl Franz as well. We also have Luther Harkon. He's going to try and take a breath attack on Karl Franz. It's going to whiff entirely. That's is it Karl Franz? Yeah. So that's not really it's not really where you want to be using your breath attack. Maybe I must be confusing this, because I think he was on the same side as Franz. So I don't know what he was breathing at, but whatever it was, it didn't do much. Okay, so Dark Elves, now that they've secured sort of the artillery and the back line, they're going to start pushing out, and we're going to see them sliding over here, trying to take out this Grail Leak, and I think they're going to have some success. A Fire Sorceress is certainly capable of doing that, and with the support of Manticore, it's going to be even faster. There's going to be a counter charge from some Grail Knights, but they are very depleted with only 8 unit models, and I think it'll be too little too late. I think even the Fire Sorceress could probably turn around and just kill them at this point. Cold One Knights are going to work their way over here towards the Peasant Bowmen, again with support of Morathi and Manticore. Fey Enchantress is degenning out these great swords and the other things in melee combat. She's going to take a rear charge, I guess, here from these Cold One Knights. Karl Franz is probably also going to go over there with Luther Harkon, and yeah, I don't know, maybe eat the Fae. Actually, Luther Harkon looks like he was chasing off those Royal Peg Knights. Over here we do have another scrap with Albrecht, the Manticore, and the other knights, and the Fire Sorceress. King Lewin is going to send in the second Manticore to provide a little extra support here. The Fire Sorceress is going to get caught out by these Royal Peg Knights. That's not going to be a nice place for her, but they've going to suffer army losses at this point, and that will be the game. So, tough game for Bretonnia. I think they did get into the back line just briefly, but it was not so much that the floodgates were open. They were Lewin, Red Sai, and Vamp Coast were able to sort of shut that door. Red Sai's power combo of the Warrior Priest, Karl Franz, and the Demigryph Knights provided a ton of value for his army and the healer, and he was able to keep them together. So it's a very strong fighting force, but it requires all of those units to work in synergy, and Red Side was able to ensure that they didn't get split off, like if the Life Caster or whatever didn't get left behind somewhere, and because of that, I think he was able to provide a lot of pressure onto Justice on that flank. With regards to, I think it was Nightsmock who ran mostly the Knights on the far side, I think he would have been better served to have a few extra spears to sort of screen things out, or maybe even just some more men at arms to, just fight with the witch elves. The witch elves would probably win anyways, but at least it would buy some maneuvering for the knights. And Tamar looks like he had a pretty balanced build. I think the Fey Enchantress maybe could have been slightly more aggressive in the fighting, but overall, I mean, I think he probably did what he wanted to do there. And his peasant bowmen, it looks like they did get chipped away pretty early from the presence of Queen Bess, and because of that, it didn't look like the Time Lord was able to get any kills with them. Perhaps the same fate happened with the defenders of Fleur de Lis. I'm not really sure why they didn't pick up any kills there, but overall, a good game to both opponents. It was really fun to watch the fight on that left flank, especially. I thought between Justice and Red Sai, that was a really intense matchup for sure. And in this case, Carl Franz and the Empire were able to win the day. So better luck next time, Bretonnia. Still love you. Maybe I'll play some Bretonnia later this week. Take care, guys. Bye.